Hello, I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, Wolves 2, Crystal Palace 0. Look, it wasn't the greatest game in the world, but it was always the most important thing. Wolves they're pretty much safe, aren't they? That's it. That's done and dusted. Don't give me that.
Right,
give me that.
Right on the edge.
No,
right
come on. No, they're done. They could lose every single game between now and the end of the season. They're still up. They're safe. Come on. Just let it go. Let it go. Don't be the mathematical person. Just say, that's it tonight. Ruben Neves steps up, scores the second. You could see the joy in his face. He knew, we knew. Come on.
You're probably right.
Oh,
but it's until it's mathematically there. You don't want to, don't count your chickens just yet.
All right. Massive result.
But Wolves put themselves in such a great position to make that a reality, make staying in the Premier League a reality. 37 points now. I think you're right. That probably will be enough. But with 5 games left, that gives Wolves one hell of an opportunity. And they're a tough 5 games, don't get me wrong, but they're 5 games that Wolves should pick up some points up in and make it mathematically secure. A massive game today, as you say, not the prettiest at times,
no.
But the 3 points all that matters.
Yeah, look, I guess it was summed up with the first goal as well with Andersen. I mean, we didn't really know what happened. I don't think the announcer did, I don't think we did, but look, it was a calamitous own goal and kind of gave Wolves that impetus to keep possession. And I thought, look, it did get a bit dead at times, the game, but at the same time, they had to be careful. They had to make sure that Palace didn't break away. They didn't have too many clear-cut opportunities. And I think apart from that one excellent Sarr save in the first half, it was a pretty quiet night. And I think they needed to dumb that down, and they did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, Sarr came into his own at times. He said that first save there was one from Eze, and then second half as well.
Yeah.
So look, when he was called upon, he dragged Wolves out of it a little bit. Some of his distribution at times was a little bit questionable as well, if we're going to be honest. But he made some big saves, and he deserves credit for that first of all. But Wolves, I think, managed the game fairly well tonight.
Managed is the right word,
because it was nervy at points in here, very nervy, particularly in that second half. The crowd starts to moan and groan and gets very tense and worried about every single pass and where. And Wolves didn't panic. They held their own. They were mature enough to see the game through, and in the end, get an absolute gift of a penalty that Neves, by the way, put away beautifully.
Superb.
Great finish from the penalty.
I love it. And look, we don't know how many games. Well, we do know how many games Ruben Neves will probably be here between now and the end of the season. Let's hope he's here for another 5 years or whatever. But realistically, that'll mean a lot to him in front of the South Bank, in front of the supporters, in such a pivotal goal, pivotal strike. It was a lovely moment, and you could tell, I think, on the expression on his face and the fans that what that meant. There was a lot of emotions going on there. Hence why he took his shirt off and probably got a booking and he doesn't care.
He did.
At the same time, I thought it was a really lovely moment.
Yeah, it was. Straight in front of the South Bank, as you say, shirt off, the hair's out, the whole lot. He enjoyed that moment, and he deserved it, and he earned it. And it was great for, I think, the unity of the squad as well. To see everyone's come together. I mean, the bench were going mad. Everyone was, it was a good moment. And really just made those last few minutes and seconds a little bit more bearable, because it would have been a real tough watch to see Wolves hold on to that 1-0.
Well, look, I was stunned that we got a penalty in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, look, don't need to get started. But how is that not a red card? How is that not a red card?
It's a Stonewall red card.
It's unbelievable.
It's shocking.
I mean, look, we'll take the penalty. Baby steps. We'll take a penalty. We'll take a penalty. But goodness me, how is it not been set?
That's the first Wolves penalty. I'm trying to think since maybe November.
Wow.
No, first one since December, all competitions. But in the league, it goes a lot further now. Regardless of whatever it is, it's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time coming. Look, use the squad tonight. Plenty of substitutions. Do you feel he did a good job with the subs tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, particularly the change to bring on Adama when he did. I thought that was a smart choice. Totti as well, albeit he had a bit of a shaky start when he came on, getting booked quite early on, and a few hairy moments. Collins as well, obviously understandable as the game's going into 5 minutes of added time to change to a back 5, bring him on, and in the end Collins could have sat and watched, to be honest, because they got the penalty, scored it. Most of the time had gone through all of that kicking off, and Wolves saw the game out pretty easily after that second goal.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've got 5 games left now. We'll talk about this more on the podcast, which will be coming up, by the way, tonight. But when Lopetegui took over, Wolves are bottom of the league, and yes, a few less games than they would have normally had because of the World Cup, but to be essentially safe with 5 games to go, I mean, there's keeping them up, and there's keeping them up in a little bit of style. And Wolves are 13th now, level on points with Crystal Palace in 12th, 3 points away from Chelsea in 11th, but Wolves can maybe take the handbrake off a little bit now. They can play with a bit more freedom. Of course, they want to be cautious. I'm sure Lopetegui's message will be, we're not safe yet. We still need to keep carrying on. We need to be professional. Of course they do, but there might be an eye towards maybe playing with a little bit more freedom now. And we could see a very dangerous Wolves for a lot of other teams who are fighting for a lot more at the bottom and the top end of the table.
If I'm being honest, and it's boring to say, until it is mathematically safe, Lopetegui, I don't think he will do that. I really don't. I think his messaging all the way from when he came in November up until now has been, we're not safe yet, we've done nothing yet. They go and beat Liverpool, they go and beat Spurs, they beat Chelsea and Brentford back to back. Every single time his message is, we haven't done anything yet, we're not safe yet, we're not taking the handbrake off and allowing Wolves to go all out against teams. He's been very conservative in how he's put the team out, and he's got the majority of the time got it right and got the results that Wolves need. Until they're mathematically safe, he's not going to do that. But I think for certain players, there's Aït-Nouri, Jimenez, players aren't playing at the moment. They should be looking at this as, I've got an opportunity to come in and get some minutes between now and the end of May.
Well, look, Wolves have had a couple of seasons where they've fallen away badly at the end of the season, where they haven't won 5 or 6 or 7 games and they've just slipped. You can talk about, a couple of seasons ago, and it's been poor. What I'm saying to you is, I will not want to play Wolves. People will look at Wolves and go, oh, well, they're safe, they've got nothing to play for. If I'm Brighton on Saturday and I'm looking for European football, if I'm Man United looking for Champions League football, if I'm Arsenal looking to win the league, I don't want to be playing Wolves, I tell you, because under this manager, they're not going to slack off, and I think that they will be a dangerous team, and I expect them to smash through the 40 points, to be honestly. I mean, they're on 37 tonight, but I expect them to finish with 43, 44, 45 points, because there's a lot of talent in this team, there's a lot of quality, and I think you could see in that performance tonight that there's an excitement not just now and surviving, but also with an eye to next season now and what they can do, because they should be in the top half of the table, they should be contending, they should be, I'm not saying European football, but they should be in and around that European football spot with a couple more additions, and exciting with some of the players they've got on that pitch.
I hope you're right. It sounds exciting when you put it that way, doesn't it?
Saying,
look, there's been a lot of mistakes made this season, from top to bottom, from August through to now.
That's just us.
That's just us. But Wolves have managed to get it right. Lopetegui's come in, and look, he's made mistakes himself and had bad results. Of course he has over the course of the last 6 months.
That's just the nature of the beast.
Of course. But he's steadied the ship. He's dragged Wolves off the bottom of the table at Christmas, and we're now sitting pretty comfortably. And that's nice to say, because I don't think at any point back in October, November, December did we think we'd be at this position. So hats off to him, to the recruitment in January, and I think the attitude of a lot of the players that were here and the ones that came in, for how they've conducted themselves, because Wolves needed to get out of it, and it looks like they have.
Yeah, attitude I think is absolutely spot on. Diego Costa probably epitomising. Christ, it's been a long day.
It's been an even longer one.
Epitomising that with 61 minutes or 60 odd minutes against Saturday. Came on tonight, nearly 90 minutes tonight. Absolutely superb.
He was very good tonight.
Wasn't he? Really good. Held the ball up, and they can breathe a little bit easier, can't they? Come on.
We can breathe a little bit easier, let alone everyone else.
Come on, tell them.
It feels nice. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions just yet, but I think we're okay. Wolves 2 Palace for the post-match reaction. Make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.